Many of us have witnessed the parabolic move on Micron after Micron was flat for many, many years and it was cyclical and all these kind of things. And it had a pretty magnificent move of about 700% in 1 year, largely due to a rare combination of massive, massive demand and very tight supply, which has led to the memory bottleneck and it has led to massive, massive price increases on memory, which is why Micron is up about 700% in 1 year. Now, I personally believe I likely found the next Micron like investment with something that has massive demand that's coming up in the next few years, but it has very tight supply. And everyone needs those things. Just like everyone needs memory for any semiconductors, and memory is like a tax on semiconductors, this element is a tax on the story and the team that I'm going to talk about in today's video. And I do my best to share a lot of interesting stocks with you guys on YouTube. I shared Ouster. It's been doing well as a physical AI bet. Even Robinhood, which people made fun of my videos, was up 36% on the month. And I try to share a lot of things with you. So I'm going to share something very interesting in today's video. And they don't get a lot of views. So if you do enjoy it, all I'm asking is please press the like button and let me know what you think in the comments. Now, I've been talking about this for a while, but more and more people are talking about this. Even the CEO of SoftBank, which he's well known for investing in futuristic bets early on, they asked him, what do you believe will create the next trillion-dollar company? What kind of sector? What kind of team? He said physical AI and robotics. We've seen Ouster pick up in a major way. We've seen many more stocks pick up in a major way. But there's still a lot of underrated winners that no one is talking about in the robotics/physical AI team, which are going to kick in a major way over the upcoming years. Now, if we look at the cost of a humanoid or the cost of robotics and physical AI in general, 40 to 60% of the cost is actually due to actuators. This is a really big one, and I personally have an actuator stock. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. But then you have 10 to 20% in sensing and perception, which is why I own Ouster. It's mainly for sensors. Then compute and all these GPUs and all of that, it's like 10 to 15%. It's not even a large percentage of the cost. Then you have other batteries, 5%, the structure is 5 to 10%. So we're going to focus on the actuators because it's about 60% of the cost. Now, what do we need to make actuators? And actuators are the motors. There's about 30 to 50 of them in each humanoid. The Tesla humanoids have 50 actuators each. So this is a really big market, guys. Okay, what do we need to make an actuator? We need a driver board to power electronics. We need precision bearings. We need encoders, position sensors. But most importantly, we need permanent magnets, which is a rare earth magnet. Who controls 90% of the rare earth magnets? China. This is a major problem, major bottleneck for physical AI, because physical AI cannot happen with a lot of the rare earth magnets and rare earth supply not being available to the United States. And China is putting export controls on a lot of rare earth magnets because they're worried that the United States is using them for military purposes, which they are, and that will make a disadvantage to China. It's like China is funding the US military. It's like China is selling military equipment to the United States. The United States wouldn't sell military equipment to China. This is pretty much what's happening right now. And what's stuck in the middle is physical AI and robotics, which could be the next major bottleneck. And this is Elon Musk himself saying that the production of the company's Optimus humanoid robots was impacted by China's export restrictions on rare earth magnets. China wants some assurance that these are not used for military purposes, and most of the time they are used for military purposes. They control 90% of the market. This is a major bottleneck. Then this is a report by S&P Global, which is a very reputed company. It said CEO Elon Musk said that he plans to start selling humanoid robots for the public in 2027, eventually targeting an annual production of 1 million units. And this is Elon Musk himself. There's way many more companies involved in robotics and in physical AI. But this rapid scaling faces a critical bottleneck. in securing adequate supply of battery metals and neodymium, which is very important, magnets essentials for robot functionality. This is something else that they said in the report. They said producing and deploying 10 billion robots by 2040, as Elon Musk projected, would require global productions of critical inputs like copper, lithium, and rare earth magnets to increase by multiples just for robots alone. Rare earth magnets are used for many different things. They're used for electric vehicles, they're used for clean energy stuff, for solar, mainly for wind turbines, they're used in hybrid cars, they're used in F-35s, they're used in military and many different equipments, they're used in your phone, has neodymium magnets. That's how the phone vibrates. So this is really important. And China still controls 90% of the supply. But for the neodymium magnets themselves, it would necessitate more than 100 times the current global production for us to get anywhere close to those targets. For lithium, that figure would be about 10 times more for us to be able to get into robotics, because a lot of them operate on batteries and you need lithium. 10 times more lithium, 100 times more rare earth magnets, okay? This is something else they said in the report. They said humanoid robots will place a particular strain on rare earth supply chains. The robots require multiple motors per unit, about 30 or more, depending on the design, each using rare earth magnets that offer higher power density than alternative motor technologies. A price surge in neodymium oxides indicate that end users are likely starting to prepare for this production ramp up. They're starting to stock inventories because there's not a lot of them. The fact that neodymium is trading at 120,000 per kilogram when it was roughly 60,000 per kilogram last July is a sign that end users are aggressively looking for this feedstock. So what you really have to know is that just like memory is a tax on semiconductors, rare earths and rare earth magnets are a tax on robotics and Fiscal.AI. And they are in a really tight supply because of the restrictions from China. Now, what you also have to know is that rare earths is not actually rare. There's a lot of them all over. In fact, neodymium is as common as copper and nickel. There's neodymium everywhere. So the problem is not finding rare earths. The problem is processing rare earths, separating the metals, and doing the alloys, and actually creating the magnet itself. This is the capacity and the technology that the United States lacks, and it's going to take them a few years to be able to get there. And even if they get there, maybe they can satisfy their current demands, and we're not even accounting again for the massive mega trend of robotics and Fiscal.AI and humanoids and so many different things that's coming up, and even the electric vehicles and Tesla cyber cars and all these things he wants to do, and space. All of them require those magnets. But you also have to know that not all magnets are actually equal. Not all rare earth materials are equal. Light rare earth is much more common, as an example, than heavy rare earth. Light rare earth is what includes neodymium. Maybe some of you have heard of MP Materials, a Mountain Pass mine. They have a lot of neodymium there, so that's a pretty good investment in this area. But the rare earths, the heavy rare earth elements, is what's actually rare, and it's what's actually needed the most by the US government, like terbium and dysprosium. Those are more rare than something like neodymium, and China controls 99% of the heavy rare earth elements. Now, the heavy rare earth elements are critical for any applications that require a lot of heat. For example, in electric vehicles, EVs, you can't be using light rare earths. You need more heavy rare earths because there is a lot of heat. In space applications, Elon Musk want to go to Mars or whatever, they need a lot of those heavy rare earths. For any F-35, any missile direction, missile precision equipments, anything that has to do with defense that has a lot of heat requires heavy rare earths. And the United States is dependent on China for heavy rare earths. They cut off their supply, and now they're working with whatever they have stockpiled in their inventories. So this is an even bigger bottleneck than just light rare earths and neodymium in general. And that's what I'm personally investing in, and that's what I'm focusing on in general. But I think even if you focus on neodymium or something like MP Materials at a reasonable price, I think even there will be a major, you could say, bottleneck within lighter earth and neodymium, because the demand will massively outpace the supply that could ever come online over the next 5 to 10 years, as physical AI is a major, major trend. It's not stopping anytime soon. Now, there's two ways to invest in this whole thing. The first one, which what I believe most people should do, is you should buy an ETF, or you should consider buying an ETF, I should say, if you're looking to invest in the trend. For example, there's a ETF called REMX, the rare earth metals. It has a lot of US miners, and it also has a lot of Chinese miners. Now, the Chinese miners are actually really good. They're very profitable companies, and they have a very low cost, and they're really good, but they're in China and they have a lot of government control. So the reason why I didn't buy the ETF is because I don't want to get exposure to China, and I want to get more exposure to the heavy rare earth metals, which is why I bought a certain rare earth miner that I'm speculating on it in the heavy rare earth space to bet on physical AI and to bet on robotics in general. And a lot of people don't know that, but my biggest gainer was actually a rare earth miner called Oxyco Resources, where the stock went up 4,000% after 2020 and heavy rare earths picked up a major way, as we had a lot of the clean energy trend, which requires heavy rare earths. I made about 1,400%. And now the stock's trading at pretty much zero. So those are really, really speculative. If you're looking to speculate on something that I'm pretty much what I'm doing, where if I'm right, I could make 10, 20x on those rare earth miners. If I'm wrong, I don't lose too much. You consider joining my group, and I share my research and I share everything I do in real time. But if not, I hope you benefited from this video. You could research them on your own. You could use the AI, or you could look into ETFs that could potentially fit your own risk profile and fit your own investment needs. But I wanted to share this idea with you, as I shared many more before. And I think it has the potential to have a Micron-like setup over the next 5 to 10 years. And it's more compelling than ever because the government right now is giving them price floors. So a lot of the miners before, they used to go bankrupt because they had no price floors. China would manipulate the price and bankrupt the miners. Now the United States is giving them price floors, where the US will buy a certain amount of their products or their production at a minimum floor. And anything above the minimum floor is like the sky is the limit. So it's very hard for those companies to go under. And I see a good risk to reward setup. So this is my opinion on what I believe is the next big thing and how to look for it and what to do about it. And I really hope you enjoyed it. It was not financial advice. If you did enjoy it, please press the like button and maybe consider subscribing. So I'll talk to you in another video.